Welcome. Welcome everybody. Y'all come on in the room, man. We got we're coming a little late for the project y'all out there. But let's not waste any time. This is not going to be a long one. But what to do is this is going to be the first time that I've done this type of show to where I'm going to up the comment section, because I want to encourage each and every last one of you. Ask your questions, and I'm going to give you. Now, a lot of this information that you are going to be hearing tonight, this evening, is very foreign to a lot of people. One, because they have never heard this type of thing before. A lot of information that somebody, I don't think influencer, but a social media platform, I think that's a better term, is this information that we give you guys has around, a lot of it's been around for at least 150 years. But that information it's not been promoted or not been put there. But if a lot of people knew this, a lot of people wouldn't be dependent upon the government or be dependent upon a job as much as they are. Just look for our government and a lot of things to take care of it. And if you look in the news now, it's always a big battle between the two different on their role in the lives of everyday citizens. And so what we're talking about tonight is, for those of you who are interested in doing it, for those of you who have heard a little bit about it, and for those who didn't even know if it was possible or never, it just doesn't sound right. Let me tell you something. It's not a lie when nobody promotes them. The system is designed to make you an employee until you come to a certain point in period in time on a job and they replace you. No such thing as job security. I mean, some people have a little bit of favor on their job. Some even promoted a supervisor, a manager, or like that. But the stranglehold, you still work for somebody else. And truth be told, your boss will never pay you, never. He will never pay you enough money to move in next door to him. He never will. He knows what he's paying for his house. He knows what he paid for his cars and all of the luxury trinkets and the vacations and all that. And then if he starts running to you everywhere he goes and shopping at the same stores and all common sense, people. But I can't say that this is your connection is slow. Yes, I think it is. I'm gonna try to correct that and fix that. I have a little drag, and I don't know why. Give me a brief second. I know one main reason is I just installed security cameras here, and they're all connected to the Wi-Fi. So I have a lot of products or a lot of things that's pulling Wi-Fi. However, let's get this thing going. The information that I'm going to be giving y'all tonight, yeah, that's it up a little bit. The information that I'm going to give you guys tonight is how to take back control of your life. And this will put you in the driver's seat to where you can call your own shot. I want to make sure. Let me check my what we have been taught. Now, I said this one time before. I think, Michael, that we got it fixed. I have, as I stated, I have several little trinkets put up from the Wi-Fi. I just installed security and here, and the security cameras are pulling from the Wi-Fi too. But keep me posted. I'm watching this as I'm from my phone just to see how bad of a drag it is. But the information I'm going to give you guys, a lot of you never heard it before. It's going to sound so fantastic. It's going to sound so outrageous that it's going to be like, wait a minute, that's not even possible, man. Like, for instance, a lot of us didn't even know that your birthday can be a tax write-off. A lot of us didn't know that. I never knew that until about 2 years ago. I never knew that your vacations can be a tax write-off. Now, the comment section is open because I want to encourage you guys to encourage y'all to ask your questions because it's the first time that I'm opening up to answer questions. So, but your vacation can be a tax write-off. You can be traveling back and forth to work. All of this time, you may have been employed on a job. A lot of us didn't know that you can write your mileage off for going to work. Your gas, your oil changes, your tire rotations. All of these things are legal, ladies and gentlemen. Legal. I tell anyone that follows me or subscribes to my channels or even takes my course, yes, these things have been done for years by business owners. But throughout all of our lives, we have been taught since childhood. Go to school, get an education, and then put in an application. You can go to school in America, all down to kindergarten, and ask those children in that classroom, what do they want to be when they grow up? I bet you $1 to a dime, every child is going to say job after job after job after job. Where did they get that from at 5 years old? Us as parents. They learned it from us. Because when we come home or when we're leaving home, as a parent, we all say the same thing. Daddy, where you going? You got to go to work. Mom, where you going? You got to go to work. Ooh, I'm tired from working all day. So we are already conditioning and training our children from birth that this is what they got to do. So when you go in, or now whatever the parent's employment is, that child's, most children, they minds are like sponges. They want to be like the parents. I want to be a doctor when I grew up. That's a good job, a high-paying job at that, but it's still a job. Unless they have their own private practice. I want to be a lawyer when I grew up. Another good job, high-paying job. You got some $1 million lawyers out there. You got some $1 million doctors out there. But I will almost guarantee you that not a single child No, they will even choose basketball, going to the NBA, going to the NFL, and even being a rapper over being their own boss. Now, there's an argument about who is holding who back and all that. I don't get off in all that stuff. Because in 2025, ladies and gentlemen, nobody got their foot on your neck. Not a single person. Nobody can stop you from reading. At one point in time in our history, or people in the history of this country, yes, there were certain people that prohibited the growth and the progression of another people. It's your fault if you continue to keep that mindset. It's your fault. You can either keep blaming somebody else, or you not having the life that you want, or you can change. This is what this podcast is about tonight. I'm going to give you guys the first step in taking your life back. And the way that we do that is LLC your name. This is the very first stage of taking ownership of your life. Now, you probably did that all over social media before. Some people didn't even know. You can LLC your name. What is the purpose of LLC in your name? Where do you get? How do you do it? Who do you do it with? And what is that doing for you? When you LLC your name, one, you're doing what you have always done. You become the business. Ladies and gentlemen, you have always been the business. You become the corporation. Think about it this way. If you don't go to work, who is paying for your bills? Who is putting money in your pocket? Nobody. You have to go to work. My thing is, if you can get up and dedicate 8, 10, 12 hours to making somebody else rich, did it ever come across your mind that if you did that, put in those same 8, 10, 12 hours in yourself, and you get to keep all the money? A lot of people choose jobs because it's a safety net. Now, anybody can do this. All won't do this. Not that they can't, just won't. Anybody can incorporate their own name. This, again, what this does, this makes you the business. So instead of putting in an application, this allows you in a contract. Rule number 1, there is no such thing, no such animal as a 1099 employee. There is no such thing. Don't let nobody else check that. That's a lie from hell. There's no 1099 employee. If you are a 1099 employee and that company is taking taxes out on you, you are a regular W-2 employee. And the sad part is you're being taxed twice. Because as a 1099, we pay our own taxes. As a 1099, we pay our own taxes. So why is a job taking taxes out on you? Why is a job taking insurance out on you? You're a W-2, 1099. A lot of businesses, or a lot of people's mentality in general, They think when you go and talk about 1099, they take it that as you want to be paid under the table at some illegal shifty type of thing. Now, if you're not a 1099, yes, that is illegal. But when you walk in with your paperwork that you are a registered business, they will even assign you an EIN number. That is your employer identification number, not employee. That is employer identification number, which is the first thing that you want to do. Well, actually, the first thing you want to do when you LLC your name is get that EIN number. Now, the EIN number is 9 digits, just like your social security number. The beautiful thing about when you incorporate your name and you get that EIN number, you no longer use your social security number. Social security is for the dependent citizen. That EIN number, when you incorporate your name, you become your own governing body. It starts the process of becoming a private citizen if you complete the paperwork. Some don't. That's when you get up and filing for a UCC and getting the loan form of your birth certificate. I'll get to that in just a minute. Most people don't even know about the loan form. There are 3 certificates that you're given. I'm going to get this real quick, then I'm going to get off. There are 3 certificates that you will acquire in your lifetime on this planet. The first one is a birth. That says that you were born. That's the short. That's the one that most of us have in our possessions now, the short one. When your parents applied for a social security card and a birth certificate, that comes on the, you don't get that until you're born. And then they smack you on the butt, make sure that you're alive, breathing, all that kind of stuff. It's 2 documents that's printed at that hospital. The long form, the one that has your little baby hands and your little baby feet stamped on that, it's the long form. That's the one that says you are alive. And when your parents, my parents, a lot of people's parents, signed for that birth certificate and that social security card, the next thing you got was inoculated. You got your vaccine shots. Daddy over there happy, rubbing mama's head. Mama just went through a traumatic excuse. That when that doctor pulled that baby, he gave it to the nurse. She went right over to that sink, started wiping the jelly off, and then she's stabbing your baby. We knew what was happening, but we didn't say anything about it because that's how we're conditioned. That's what happened. While the baby already screaming, they over there juking it. Now, also at that transaction, your parents just transferred back to the United States government $1 million. $1 million the day you were born. A lot of us never knew about it. This, in the Black culture, this is why they will never pay restitution. They will never pay it. They've already paid it under the law of the United States government. Somebody please fact check me. I mean, I've been doing this thing a long time. I never worry about speaking about things or doing disinformation and all that because there are a lot of influencers or a lot of people that's on social media. We actually live what we talk. So I can speak the way that I speak because I live it. Let's get that out of the way. And you can also Google anything, ladies and gentlemen. Google it. Read it for yourself. You don't have to take my word for nothing. Let's move along. After you apply for that social security card, and then a third certificate that you're going to be given, well, it ain't going to be no good to have it because that's your death certificate. That's the one that says you are no longer on this planet. Now, what happened to that $1 million? Because however old you are today, the United States government has been investing that money on your behalf because you are a citizen of the United States. And playing with your money and investing it in whatever they wanted to invest it at, and you didn't even have a hand in it. You didn't even know. Now, there are ways that you can find out how much is in your securities trust. Wherever you are in the world, watching this podcast, even on the replay, I want you to pull out your Social Security card, flip it over on the back. There are a series of numbers in the bottom left corner. They're either red or blue. Red or blue. The first thing that you will see is that in that first series of numbers is an alphabet. That tells you which bank has the documentation of ownership of your birth certificate. I told y'all I'm going to be telling y'all some stuff that you never ever heard before. You might have heard it, but you didn't believe it. Somebody may have touched on it, but they didn't tell you or explain to you how you even find it or how you know about it. That number on the back of your Social Security card is the account number to the holding your securities trust. It's called a CUSIP number, CUSIP. You look that up. Now, when you look at something on the internet, and I know it's a lot of stuff out there on the internet, first make sure that the site is a reputable site. Because it's a lot of people on social media that's just throwing information out there. They don't live the life that they're talking about. Then when you find out what bank has your securities trust, then you can go to that bank, type in that number on the back of your Social Security card, and your trust account is going to pop up within that bank. See, you didn't even know that somebody had an account on you that's open. Now, the government is never going to give you that money. Never going to give you that money. They're not just going to write nobody a check for all of the millions, because I can guarantee you, if you're 50 years and over, you got some millions in that account. Because there are two entities of the country. One is the United States of America. That's the government, collectively as a whole, all 51 states and 14 territories. The other one is the United States. That's the corporation, the business side. The United States is the one that operates and manages the funds, the investments, the negotiations, the business trade with other countries. They take that money and invest it on the world stock market or in stocks. We never even knew about it. And guess what else happens? They keep it. The government is making money off of your name because when that transaction happened, your parents also transferred ownership to the government. And we became citizens. That's how we became citizens. Now, the biggest thing that everybody's been talking about here lately about Doge and how Doge went into and found all of these Social Security checks that was issued to people. This is not a government thing. I don't care about your politics. I'm just telling y'all what the actual deep dive was. There was a paper record of the birth of the people that came in and out of this country. right? Or born here, died, whatever. The computer system itself could only go back so many years. This is why when you guys heard that somebody was 300 years old, still getting a Social Security check, they didn't give you all of it. Because the one thing that was, if somebody was getting issued a Social Security check that was 300 years old, that meant somebody was cashing it. If a check is being sent out from the government to a dead person and somebody is cashing that check, you never heard about nobody getting arrested. Not one. What did those do? Start going in and canceling all of those security checks. What the disruption was, you just canceled millions of dollars that the government was still playing because they owned your name. Now, I want to tell you how you know this to be true. Three documents where your name appears in all capital letters: your driver's license, your Social Security card, and your birth certificate. Now, there are some other documents where your name comes in all capital letters as well. That is your utility bills. Any debt that you acquire while you are living on this planet as a regular citizen, that bill to you only to your home address. That's touching on something else too. The debts can never be shipped to the office. Why? The United States Post Office is its own separate government corporation. We'll touch on that too. Maybe not tonight, but on another one. And what made the United States Post Office the oldest government department and its own corporation, that dates back to 1863. 1863. This is how long these laws have been on the books, and we never knew. Anyway, when we receive a bill in the mail, and it used to be in the old days, up until recently, you may heard on social media people talking about these remittance coupons. And they put out there on social media that this was a check. Coupon and check is two different things. And the thing out there on social media was, all you have to do is go that check and send it back. Yeah. You never saw those people that was talking about doing that or did that. You never heard them do a follow-up video and say that they lights in the gas and their water still got cut off. Because that's exactly what happened. I can tell you why it happened. They wasn't their own corporation. They never filled out a UCC form. And it never came from under the 14th Amendment. Fourthly, as a privatized citizen, you never endorse your name. That's how they taught us in school. When you endorse your name, you revert the bill or the debt from the government in all caps. You revert that debt that went to the government back to you when you signed your name like they taught us to sign our name in school. The first letter is capitalized, everything else is lowercase. We were never taught this. So, yes, in part, what they said on social media is true. We don't have a debt. All of our debts in the United States have been paid. All of our debts have been paid. What they didn't say was When you endorse your name, you revert the debt back to you. So the government never pays the debt by you signing your name. And they started teaching us how to sign our name in elementary school. We were already being conditioned programmed. Now, the question became, why did they start teaching us that early in school? Because the man that founded the Board of Education is a man that we all heard of, J.D. Rockefeller. J.D. Rockefeller, from the notorious, infamous, famous, richest family in the world, created education. In his writings, J.D. Rockefeller said, I'm not trying to create business owners. I need smart employees. The same scheduling system that we were on in school is the same system and scheduling we own at the job. That same and that same bell to go home. The only difference is you change classes every hour, and on the job, you get a break every 2 hours. We never knew what was happening behind the scenes. So when you LLC your name, it's very easy to do if you know how to do it properly. And this is why I put this information out here, because so many people were LLCing their name wrong. The indoctrination and the teachings from school are so deep in us. Imagine what we've been taught for 12 straight years, just through high school. And then if you went to a higher form of education, it was continued through college. And if you went further, it was continued through your master's. Now, only a select few knew about this. And they were taught, no, you ain't gonna never get no job. No, you're not going to that community college. See, community colleges and some smaller universities don't have skull and bones fraternity. Y'all look that up. In these more affluent colleges and universities, there is a fraternity called Skull and Bones. These are the people that are our future politicians or future wealthy people in the world. Yeah. This is the system, ladies and gentlemen. And it is a safely guarded system up until the freedom of information was enacted and things started coming out. And that, by being so indoctrinated through our schooling and what we learned from our parents, through that system of learning all of those years, this is why they say nobody ever lied to you. The information was always in a book. The information has always been in the book. You guys notice that the shrinking of libraries across the country? Now, they say that because we have online information now. It's so much information, there's no need to have books anymore. You can just go to Google or go to ChatGPT. You can ask the AI. If you really just don't trust Google, ask the AI. AI has knowledge on everything. And it will tell you exactly what it is. You don't even have to be the brightest crayon in the box. Just tell the AI technology, explain it to you in layman's terms. And the AI will print it all up for you. It'll type it all out in 30 seconds. And you can even tell AI, Tell me what books that I can find this reference in. Tell me what news articles, and it's going to give you everything. This is why I have the confidence in what I speak. I'm not worried about any disinformation because I can always point somebody with a book that I got it from. And a lot of the writings are from very respected, not reporters, authors. So if the information that I put out is inaccurate, then you got to discredit the author that wrote it. And they will never do that. This is why when you have these bots that are set up on the internet, when you have certain information, it's a bot that tracks certain keywords. The system monitors that. And when you say a certain keyword, it triggers the bot to type up a response. And it's always somebody trying to make a little jokey joke. They don't have a profile picture, and it's a series of numbers. That's their profile. That's how you know it's a bot. And if you get pulled into the circus, you just became a clown. You can't argue with the bot. Now, it took me a minute because one thing, I know how I research and I know how I study. And for somebody to come on your thread in your post, and then you have other people that are really interested in learning, but then you have this bot that says something negative, derogatory, or just try to be funny. Ladies and gentlemen, that's by design, because if everybody knew this, we all agree. I don't care what your policy is, what your race is, what your gender is. We all agree we are the most taxed country in the modern world. You tax before you get your check. You tax after you get your check. In everything that you purchase in just the everyday live, you taxed again. And then somebody always says, man, if you work hard, you can have what I got. The American dream. Where do dreams transpire? When you sleep. Nothing comes to a sleeper but dreams. If they can keep you sleeping or keep us arguing back and forth about minuscule, menial things that don't mean nothing, they would rather have us arguing about race, DEI, Joe Biden or Donald Trump, Kamala Harris or Hillary Clinton. We, as a people in this country, are the ones that's continuing the circus. Ladies and gentlemen, if you've ever read The Art of War, division and divide, same thing. Division and separation. Put the people against each other at odds. Then that way, it's the magic trick. This is why we are so amazed at a magician. Sleight of hand. If we get to keep the people arguing, gun rights, abortion, stupid stuff, none of that affects me. Why am I involved in it? I care nothing about Donald Trump. I care nothing about Joe Biden. It don't matter who in office. I still got to get up and provide for my family. It don't matter who's in office. And the tax code are written, they ain't written for the wealthy. Erase that out of your mind. Erase that out of your mind. The tax code is written for the ones who know how to use it. I'm no millionaire. I'm no billionaire. I'm on my way. That's my goal. Warren Buffett said the average millionaire in America became a millionaire, a consistent millionaire. Because that's not just making 1 million, then you pay your bills and then you under $1 million. No, that's paying all your bills and you still a millionaire. Warren Buffett said the average millionaire in America maintained that millionaire status at the age of 57. I got 5 more years to add 1 more zero, but let's move on. The tax code is written for those who know. If you've ever gone to the federal court building in your city and you go in there and ask them, well, a lot of cities, they have the entire IRS tax code spread out along that front wall. Every tax book code you can think of is right there for you to pick it up. And the actual tax code is about this thick, ladies and gentlemen. It's a lot. But when you have been trained and indoctrinated in your mind, again, the comment section is open. So if anybody have a question, I'm looking right at it. So I was explaining. But if you've never been taught what to ask, of course you never knew where to look. Because we never ever thought it was possible to write our clothes off. The clothes that you wear every day, you never knew you can do that. You never knew that you can write your utilities off. We grew up thinking that that was a debt because we used them power company power and we just knew we had to pay it or they was going to cut it off. None of us knew that. I didn't know any of this, ladies and gentlemen, until 5 years ago. After having a business from 1995 to 2017, all I had was a business license, being transparent. I didn't know until the gentleman that I met that started to open in my mind again, who is a very successful, multiple hundred millionaire. Everybody don't get that opportunity and that chance. Luck, I don't believe in luck because everything in this life happens for a reason. I was in the right place at the right time and I had the right mind to sit back and listen. Now, everybody don't have that type of faith because whatever he told me, I jumped in the deep end without a life jacket. What I had to lose? What I had to lose? And when I started implementing these strategies, my whole entire life changed. My whole entire life changed. And it was like, bing. Another thing, all right? So when you LLC your name, is first thing you want to do is go to the irs.gov. It's just like, and you're going to apply for a employer identification number online. You can get this done, ladies and gentlemen, as fast as you can type. It don't take long. I teach my clients, people who take my course, I teach them all this. And what I try to do is, I tell the main thing is, don't pay somebody else money to do it for you, and you don't know how they did it, what they did, any of that. And then they just sit here, you got your information. That didn't do you any good. It didn't do you any good. Now, I'm not telling anybody what to do. There are companies out there, LegalZoom, Taylor Brands, Zlee, all these people, they'll say, oh, we'll do it for free. All you got to do is pay your government fees. All you got to do is pay the title fees. That's it. You don't need somebody. You're going to sit here and give these people all your information and a credit card or a debit card. They're going to do it for you. And then, here you go. What did you learn? I can either give you a fish sandwich or I can teach you how to fish. This is why I became the info plug. I give you the tools and the information that you need to help you be successful. You can't be successful when you're still relying on somebody else to do it for you. You ever notice this is, even though you have watched the show Shark Tank, they'll tell you straight up, I don't want to work. I want the money to work for me. No person of wealth wants to get in and work. They want to use their influence, use their name, use their connections, and boom, make more money. That's the game. But here it is, ladies and gentlemen. Here's a key point. When you LLC your name, that name needs to be in all capital letters when you file for that EIN number. If you type your name regular, like we've been taught all through school, you are still not private. That is the hidden trick. A lot of people that went in and incorporated or tried to incorporate their name, and they typed it in regular way. That's the secret number one. Now, that is hard to break, that conditioning. From signing your name the way that they taught us in school to sign it, into signing all caps. A lot of us, we just get a stamp that's already all caps. Now, there's also getting to the remittance coupons. Now, if you notice now, your bills don't come with that detachable little thing on the bottom of it. They send you a regular old copying paper with your bill and how much you owe. Anybody ever wondered why the big push to do auto pay? That's not a convenience. Auto pay. See, when you sign up for auto pay, you don't get a bill at all. Come on, people. We got to think. While we out here arguing about Democrats and Republicans, that happens to every citizen in the country. Every person in the country that gets a bill, they push an auto pay. Remember, there was a time in our history, and I remember when I'm 52, you had to make a lot of money to get a credit card. You had to make a lot of money to apply for a credit card. You had to have good credit to get a credit card. Now they got debit cards. A debit card, ladies and gentlemen, is not your friend. A debit card is not your friend. A debit card is the worst thing in the world. And some of us just be swiping. You don't get any cash back rewards on it. You're not building credit with a debit card because it's automatically drafted out of your account. There is no credit value on a debit card. It has been promoted that if you ain't pay cash for it, don't get it. Some people still think like that. They don't want a debit card. They don't want a credit card. The worst thing in the world to do. This society and life that we live in, ladies and gentlemen, is all based on credit. Credit simply translates to you having a good name. A lot of us didn't even know that paying a down payment is illegal. If you went out and just bought a car and you put a down payment on it, that's illegal. It violates the Credit Bureau's law, which is federal. Don't take my word for it. Go look it up for yourself. Go look it up for yourself. Actually, you can go and look on my page. I just, let me find that right quick while I'm talking. And the reason why it's illegal, ladies and gentlemen, the reason why it's illegal, because it's under unfair practices. You can't charge me $2,000 as a down payment, and then somebody else comes through and you only charge them $800. That's not fair. under the credit bureau. That's not fair. Uh-oh, wait a minute. Y'all bear with me just a second. I got to get back over here. I got to get back over here. String y'all. Oh, man. It's messed up. Oh, man. Y'all bear with me just 1 second. There we go. All right. I hope I just messed up. I had clicked onto the wrong screen. Y'all forgive me on that one. I tried to go to my Facebook, but it's on a separate platform. Okay. But let me explain to you. If you go back and look at my news feed, you'll see that on my thread where I posted that tax code that says it's illegal to charge a down payment. But when we have been conditioned for so long and we see everybody paying down payments, we never question it. We never question it. A lot of you never knew that even looking at your credit report is biased and unfair. It's two numbers. Two numbers. What your credit score is and possibly your debt to credit ratio. A lot of us don't even pay attention to your credit to debt ratio. Your credit to debt ratio simply says, do you make enough money to pay us back if we give you this right here? That's what that is, your credit to debt ratio, which I can understand that. If you're only making $60,000 a year, you can't go in and apply for a loan for $200,000. You don't make enough money to pay it back. That's common sense. Not a problem with that. But who you owe, that's not that company's business. That's what makes it illegal. Ladies and gentlemen, your credit is the easiest thing in the world to get straight. As a course in my, there is a course in my program where I can show you how to clean up your credit in 30 days. 30 days. I even provide you with the dispute letter and the tax code. First thing, this is what you can do on your own. First, download all 3 credit agencies, because regardless of what you have been told, TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian are not bureaus. There's only one bureau. Fact check that. It's only one. Those agencies report to the bureau. But here's something that you might not have known. There are 11 smaller agencies that report to the big 3. You can go on your credit report right now and freeze all 11 to where they can't report to the big 3. You can do that right now. You can even freeze the big 3. This is how you can stop people from pulling your credit. You go in there to buy a car, they will run your credit 15 times until somebody accepts and says, we're going to give you a loan, or we're going to finance that car. And then here's something else you didn't know. It's not the car lot. It's not the bank that says you are approved or denied. Information, it's the underwriter. When you fill out that application or that form, whether you get a car or a loan or a house, whatever the case may be, even your utilities, it's the underwriters at the utility companies that says how much deposit you got to put down when you're trying to get your utilities turned on. Unfair practices. Everybody don't pay a deposit. They say it's based on your credit score. Don't believe the hype. Public Enemy, 1989. Don't believe the hype. Y'all never heard that song. Anyway, it's illegal. This is why your credit is so easy to get clean. I don't care if you have bankruptcies. I don't care if you have charge-offs. I don't care if you have late payments. All of that is illegal to report according to the one credit bureau. The trick with cleaning up your credit is when you get a dispute letter drafted up for yourself, whether you write it or whether you get it from somebody else. It's people all over social media be selling letters, dispute letters. And then you still got to do the work. This is why I teach people, look, don't pay somebody to get a template when you can get your own template. The templates are on the internet in PDF form. All you do is type your name, type the debit, and type the account number. Print it off. Free. Look at your 3 credit reports. TransUnion, Equifax, Experian. First, you want to go in and freeze all of those lower credit agencies. Then you look at your report, print that thing out, all 3. Take you a yellow highlighter. Now, if you don't care nothing about your credit, hey, this is not going to apply for you. But if you got anything less than a 660 in 2025, you're going to be lost in the shuffle. Especially the way that this now let's move right along so we can get off of this. But every old address, if it's still reporting to your credit, that's inaccurate credit reporting. Why? You don't live there. If you have something that's reporting with an old phone number, that's coming off. That's inaccurate reporting. When these bill collectors call you, answer the phone. Answer the phone and tell them exactly these words. Yes, please forward me the original wet copy and your authorization of ownership of this debt. When a collection agency calls you, that's not who you have the debt with. Now, is it morally right? That's whichever side you wake up on the bed. It's going to be a lot of people out there that's doing the right thing, paying their bills on time, working hard. That's because they don't know. And that's good. I applaud people. You should pay your bills. That's an honest debt that you defaulted on. You defaulted on. A lot of us made bad choices and mistakes when we were young. A lot of us did. Because we didn't know about it. Oh, God, I had bad credit at 19. This was back in the day when pink ice was the thing. Ooh, and I had this little girl I was in high school. Oh, that's going to a long way. But boy, I was in debt school with my little son driving check while I was making $77 a week. And I couldn't afford to pay. Bad credit. Which jewelry stores are the easiest way to gain credit. Jewelry stores. Find you 3. A necklace, watch, and a ring. One at each one. Put it on credit. Start paying that thing off. Don't pay it off early. There are 2 dates. A lot of us didn't know that every bill that you have has 2 dates. This is what happens when you start LLC in your name. I'm still with the subject. And I'm going to get out the best part at the end. There is a bill date and the bill comes out. And there's the one that everybody else knows about, the due date. Let me tell you a secret. Between these 2 dates, it's already late on the due date. It's already late. Because the bill date is when the bill was created. That's how the system is built. You're already late on the due date. And then we think, oh, well, I'll pay it Friday, which makes it even further late. Now, in your mind, it was like, okay, I can understand if I was a month late or this. I was 2 days late. It's already late when you got it. It took, wherever your bill came from, 3 to 7 days to get it shipped in the mail. It was already late. Anytime you have a bill, ask them, or whenever you create a bill, ask them, even the bills you got now, call that company back and say, hey, when is the bill date? When is the bill date? And then they try to act like, well, we're going to send it out on the 15th, like they're doing you. It came out on the 3rd. The bill date was the 3rd. And then you get it on the 15th. It's already 2 weeks late. We got to understand what we're doing with LLC at night. All right. So aside from capitalizing all caps your name when you apply for the EIN number, they're going to populate you an EIN number as soon as you hit submit. If you do it online, you're going to have an EIN number right then, right there. It don't come in the mail. Some do. Some people choose. They want a hard copy. But when you start doing this process, take your behind the Walmart and get you a $29.99 printer where you can do this right there online. You can print your EIN number. You already registered with the government and the IRS as a corporate entity at that moment. Think like this, ladies and gentlemen. That EIN number is your new corporation. That's your new Social Security number. That's the number that we use. Y'all think that's, I'm not telling you. How do you think Donald Trump filed bankruptcy 6 times? 6 times. And it never affected his personal income or his personal net worth or his personal credit. Donald Trump has bad business credit, but not bad personal credit. You bankrupt the business that has its own EIN and its own entity. Now, if you're an LLC, that's a little different rule. This is why, in this process, in this business, this is why we learn how what we call business stacking. You're going to create 5 LLCs over a period of time. I mean, if you got the money like that, you can do all 5 in the same night. But in the old days, you used to create an LLC anonymously. You can't do that anymore, thanks to the Biden administration. Now, the Biden administration said it was because of human trafficking, sex trafficking, wealthy people trying to hide their money from taxations, or wealthy people hide money in a divorce settlement. I mean, they did all that to bring so wealthy people can be tax money overseas because that was the game. No personal wealth has all of their money onshore in the United States because the United States is the most taxed country in the world. And here's something else that you didn't know. If you have $5,001 in the bank, you're going to get taxed again for money that you are trying to save. Think it's a game? Ain't nobody on you. The bank called. Ever wonder what FDIC was? FDIC is first cousins to FICA, FICA. Take a trip to DC, they in the same building. FICA and FDIC is first cousins. And they all report to the IRS. You got $5,001 in the bank, you pay tax on your personal money. Best thing for you to do, whoop, go to the bank and open up another account and cut that money in half. 25 over here, 2,500 over there. Just got rid of it. Don't put all your money. Don't put all your LLCs under one bank. Never do that. We'll take my course. I'll give you the top 5 banks to use. That's most favorable. Never get a loan. Never. If you, as a small business owner, go out there and get a loan to start a business, you need to punch yourself in the face and flush your money down the toilet. What a lot of banks won't do is finance or put a loan out there because they classify that as a small loan. Listen to the term, small business loan. You're asking for too little. That's a denial, just if you went in there for $1 million. Banks get these numbers from the IRS based on other businesses that's in the same industry as you. This is one reason why you never specify what industry you're in, even when you LLC your name. Your classifications, what they call your SIC codes, your identification codes, should always be consulted. I can consult anybody from how to cut grass to how to change the oil car. There is not one box that the government can put me in. And you learn this because you have to give them 3 SIC codes when you even apply for your LLC. It's a lot, ladies and gentlemen. You never knew. Now, you can pick the general code. There's only 2 types of industries really in the world. And 3 if you want to push it. Either you provide a business service or you provide a business product. Now, there are some countries or some companies, excuse the word, that are manufacturers. The United States have gotten so far away from the manufacturing industry that is nothing. Look around your house. Nothing in there was made in America. And I don't even live with y'all. Nothing in your house, all the way down to your cell phone, was made in America. It made my skin crawl that people feel that dumb in 2000. Oh, it's sport made in America. Really? Watching your Samsung TV? That wasn't made in America. While you talking on your Samsung or your iPhone, they just spilled the beans about iPhones being made in China. Why are you all up in Walmart buying them clothes that was made in Taiwan and China? Or maybe it's because you sitting on your IKEA furniture. Or your Ashley furniture that was made in Mexico. And then your household is made in America. Pay attention to the tags. Assembled in America is not made. It's not made. All right, got questions coming in. Game. Real. Okay. Appreciate you, exquisite MAD. The thing is, ladies and gentlemen, all of this stuff, I mean, even if you didn't know, you should know by now with the big tariff war. Kind of exposed everybody. Not just United States, they exposed Europe too. And the funniest part about that was China has been flooding the market with so much knockoff. Just because you bought your purse in Neiman Marcus, it ain't no more real than buying it from Leroy at the Citgo gas station. It's trunk. As a leather crafter, that was my first business, and I put this out there too. I can tell you how you can, an easy way, how you can tell if your designer purse is real or fake. Heat up a shrink pen. Now, if you're scared, heat up the shrink pen, you already know that bag is knockoff. Real leather does not run from heat. It'll make a little bitty pinhole and it will singe when you punch the hole through the leather. As a leather crafter, I know that. That was the very first business that I didn't know I have until 2017. Naga hat. A naga animal. That's man-made leather. Smells like leather. Feels like leather. But the base component is plastic. And when you take that hot pen and stick it to that plastic, and you went in the Neiman Marcus and bought that bag, oops. China has been doing this for years. Flooding the market. Nobody knows what's real and what's fake no more. But because you bought it from the mall or the Mall of America, oh, this is a real Chanel. When people bring their stuff into my shop and they want the handles redone, I can look at it and tell it's not real. But I can't tell them that because that's how they pay them. So, but I tell y'all anyway, LLC, your name in all caps. And then when you apply for your LLC registration, you want to put your name there in all caps as well, but you're going to add LLC on the end of your LLC registration. All the rest of the information, do it. So why do you pay somebody else when you can LLC your own name? And all you got to do is pay state fees, just like LinkedIn and Taylor Brands and Z-Lee and all the folks do. But the only difference, when you do it, now you know how to do it. And then that's when the fun begins. LLCing your name gives you the power to 1099. Now, when you 1099, this opens up all types of doors for you. Because now, when you write up your contract, as an LLC contract worker, I pay my own insurance. You keep your own that. Your 401k. I'll invest my own money. Can't nobody do better with my money than I can. Because I know where my money going inside the family. Most people who got a 401k, you don't even understand how your money is being invested anyway. And then they charge you a penalty to get your own money. Tell me where that's fair. And they tax it. Tell me where that's fair. So who better to be in control of your money than you? Does it work for extra protection from liabilities? Yes, it does. Because as an LLC, that's what their company is, a limited liability corporation. You're limited. Now, where a lot of people mess up at is they try to exploit the system. You can't do that. Because by being a legal entity, especially if you haven't finished the paperwork from becoming a person. Now, when I say the word private citizen, that means coming from under the 14th Amendment. Understand what being a private citizen is. You are not under the 14th Amendment, which means you are not a U.S. citizen. How do we know that to be true? Anybody ever heard of the Amish? Amish country. I'm telling y'all, man, y'all need to pay attention to how they word things in this country. Amish country are inside of the United States, but they're not under the United States government. They have their own schools. They have their own way of eating. They have their own, they are not dependent on government influence at all. These people do not even have running water, power, none of it. None of it. If you don't believe me, go visit Amish country. They'll let anybody come in there and look. Now, when they go to talking that broken German language that they talk, nobody speaks that dialect of German except Amish people. Germans don't even speak that dialect anymore. That's how far back their history goes. They don't even have hospitals. If they have babies, they have midwives. Got somebody that comes to the house and delivers the baby, just like they did in the old days. These people make their own clothes. But Amish people are not under the 14th Amendment. When you come from under the 14th Amendment, understand what you're giving up. You're giving up that Social Security. But it doesn't matter because you got access to your security trust. This is when you start paying your bills with postage stamps. Anybody ever wonder why the two legal identification documents are given by two separate government entities? And one outranks the other one. Your driver's license that you get that from the state. EMV, the courthouse, depending on how big or small it is. But everybody who got a paper, you got to get that from the post office. I told y'all the post office is its own government. And the one who runs the post office is not the president. It's the post general. He has a military rank. Don't take my word for it. Research it for yourself. He is the highest authority of the post office. If they set the post office down, ooh, as much problems as they got, as many problems as they got. But when you are an agency or a government entity that's that big, the United States Post Office signed a treaty that involved 192 countries around the world. This is why me, as an online marketer, was not worried about tariffs because I send my stuff through the post office. And then it's a direct shipment. Direct shipment. People who purchase my products online, the order goes to China. and the product gets shipped straight to you. I don't even touch. That's the best business model in the world, where you don't have to touch any product. You get a check every month. LLC in your name, ladies and gentlemen. You can apply for your own insurance. There are special insurance companies out there. Not special, but there are insurance companies out there. You got to shop. You got to shop within your budget. Pay your own insurance. I provide my own drug screener. It's $15. Bio lab. Every city in the state has a bio lab. You go in there, pee in a cup, they print you out the paper. Good. $15. No workman's comp, because I'm a corporate entity. I only have one employee. Me. Which is the funniest thing. When you LLC as a corporate business, you hire yourself as an employee. You can. You can. You got to be careful doing that, because you have to draw a clear line of what they call separation of entity. The best thing that I would recommend, and I tell all of my clients, don't earn an income. You are taxed, ladies and gentlemen. We all got to agree on this. You are taxed on what you earn and what you own. I don't own anything. I don't even own the clothes that I wear. Y'all see the name under that? RDM Online Marketing. That's a marketing business. Now, you as an everyday person not own your clothes. When you incorporate your name, this is how you do this legally according to the IRS. Put your name on your clothes. Put the company's name on your clothes. That way is covered under uniforms. Uniform. And you wear your clothes every day because that's your uniform. You didn't even know you could do that. I mean, put a patch in the tag. That company has to be displayed somewhere on there. And my company, or the company that I am contracted with, you talk about the word choice. The company that I am contracted with provides with company uniforms. Look at it this way. Let's just say you work at Applebee's. Applebee's provides you with a uniform for free. They give you the little 2 shirts that you got to wash every day. You are on your way to Applebee's. You stop at the gas station. What are you doing? Advertising for free. You just got off work and you stop by Walmart. What are you doing? Walking around Walmart, advertising Applebee's for free. Somebody smells you, they get hungry. Man, I think I'm going to go to Applebee's. Did Apple give you a check for free marketing? No. And you've been doing it all this time and didn't never know. You never knew. If you are working on a job that has a uniform, you're advertising that company everywhere you go, before and after you go to work, for free. Has that company ever gave you a bonus check or a commission for people that you talk to and they say, hey man, y'all hiring? You just got that company an employee. Nope. They didn't give you one dime. So when you wear your company's clothes, this counts off as a uniform, and it also counts toward marketing. So my clothes is now a tax deduction and a write-off. Most of you just get them 2 little boots. They give you 2 pair of boots. A worker, a W-2. Ladies and gentlemen, let the government pay. This is my last point. I'm gonna get off of this. When you LLC your name, now you can sell your car to the business. If that vehicle is under your personal name and under your personal Social Security number, all the money that you put into it, you will never see it come back. All the gas, the oil changes, everything. Even when you wash it, you don't spend that money. Your car, it doesn't matter if you're still paying on it or if you own it. Your car, let's just do oil changes. You get an oil change every 3,000 miles or every 3 months. So that's 4 oil changes a year, 12,000 miles. Last year, they paid 70 cents per mile. Somebody do the math on that. You ain't got to wait time. That's $8,000 a year. If your car is not paying you, you got to ask yourself the question: been this wrong all my life. I've been doing this wrong all my life. It's going to be more than $8,000 a year. I just did all this. You haven't even written off your tires that you bought on it. You haven't even written off the maintenance on it. You haven't written off the gas. Well, you can claim one or the other. You can claim the mileage or the gas. You can't claim both. I say claim the mileage. They paying money on that mileage, man. And that's you going back and forth to work. Now, here's the other added secret. If you were to wrap that car or put some type of business promotion and marketing onto that car, never take it off. That car can be sitting in your driveway. And that's everybody who ride up and down your street is seeing your business. You can go out to eat. You know how many times that I've gone out and the person that I'm out with, you gonna ride in your work truck? Yeah. I get paid to drive this truck. Why wouldn't I? This whole entire meal is off. And I work and finagle some to bring in business and conversation on the head. Now I can write off half of that bill. Ladies and gentlemen, read the tax code. Don't take my word for it. And I thank you guys for rocking with me. I went on about 30 minutes. But no, I'm going to it's supposed to have been 30 minutes. But I'm glad you guys tuned in. I hope that you got a little bit more information. Our company is already LLC. I'm thinking LLC in my name too. Yes, I will definitely LLC your name. In order, the thing about what you want to, let me drop this to you, Exquisite. You are not a citizen of the state of Florida. You are a resident of the state of Florida. You are a citizen of the United States, which simply means LLC in any of the 50 states or any of the 14 U.S. owned territories. If you wanted to put an LLC in the U.S. Virgin Islands, you can legally. Now, there are some other things you got to do in order to put yourself in position to do that. And you have to, the sweetest part about LLCing in another state that you don't live in, and then you hire yourself through 1099 contracts in the state you live in to work for the out-of-state LLC. Most people don't even know you get a tax break. You have a foreign entity from another state putting a resident of that state to work. You get a tax break. What do you think Walmart do? Now, when you're on the scale of Walmart and you are hiring all of those employees that work in that city and in that state, Walmart gets free land. Walmart gets free utilities because they're putting people to work in that city and in that state. Y'all got to start looking at this thing. These big time corporations coming in, the city gives them the land. Anybody look at McDonald's model? McDonald's are everywhere. Did you know that the franchisee that put that McDonald's restaurant, he don't own the land. McDonald's Corporation owns the land. This is why you will never see a McDonald's go out of business. Never. Because McDonald's owns the land. They'll remodel it, but they ain't gonna never close. And there can be a Church's Chicken right next door that got wood on the windows. I need to read Ray Kroc. But when you sell that vehicle to your business, then it becomes a corporate car. And it's 100% tax write-off. Thanks to George Bush. Most people get confused when they see these multi-millionaires and billionaires having these big body cars. Now, it's prophesied and promoted that that's a status symbol. Oh, I got the Maybach. I got the Aston Martin, the Ferrari, and the Rolls Royce, the Cunard. Y'all know why I buy those big cars? It's nothing to do with status. Next to George Bush Jr., any vehicle over 6,000 pounds in the old days, prior to Biden, it was a 100% write-off. This is why they go buy those big cars, the Hummer and big jacked up trucks. If they weigh 6,000 pounds and you just drop 120,000 on a car, you don't buy it under your personal name. You buy it under the company name. And it was a 100% write-off. You wrote off a $120,000 car first year. Say what? Read it. Joe Biden in the Biden administration brought it down to 60%. That's a hell of a drop. So if you spent $100,000 on a car, you still can write off $60,000 the first year. That's a nice chunk you just took out of a $100,000 car. Now, the mileage, the oil change, all of that stuff, the maintenance would have made up a little bit more money. But you just paid off a daggone $100,000 rolls in 2-3 years, while the rest of us is trying to pay off a Ford Focus in 5 years. Sad. When I first started studying Black America at the time, and it's not a race thing, this is a notch thing. Black America bought more Mercedes-Benz than any other country in the world. This is how they was able to calculate the black spending power at $1 trillion. Most disenfranchised and broken people bought more Mercedes-Benz than any country. But you know what they did? Bought the worthless Benz. They bought the 203 series Benz because it was still a Mercedes-Benz, but you can't write them vehicles off. They under 6,000 pounds. And especially if they didn't know the LLC, the company, even if they had an LLC company, you couldn't write the value because it didn't meet the 6,000 pound threshold. That's what information does. When you have the right information, it will change your life. And the only drawback that we got to start doing in 2025, we got to start asking questions. We got to start asking questions. Hey, if I did it, what makes you think it won't work for you? The only thing is fear. I'm scared. Okay, and I can't do that. You don't understand in front of your broke destiny. You do you. But you can say, even the book called Bible says, in the end, nobody will be able to say they didn't know. It also says, God didn't give you the spirit of fear. If Elon Musk can be the richest man in the world and don't receive a call, nobody else the question, how is he doing it? That math don't in your finite natural man. How can you be the richest man in the world and you don't get a check? Some people just say, oh man, that's that rich folks stuff. Us regular people can't do that. Lie. I can tell you that right now. A lie. The way you do that, ladies and gentlemen, is easy. You only tax on money you earn. So Elon Musk gets paid in stock options. He don't get a check. He gets stock options, which is money that you haven't earned yet. Because if the stocks don't go up, you don't gain no money. You didn't make any money. If the stock, when Tesla lost all of that, he was smiling more than anybody else. And then the unknown people were saying, man, he lost all the money. That man lost $200 billion. Now it became a write-off as a loss. When you know how to use the tax code, it's your friend. We never lose money. Here's another term you should look up, and I got to go. Deferred taxes. Even if I am in the black in a quarter, let's just say I'm in the black in a quarter, I'm up. I already know they're going to hit capital gains. What do? I take that money and I roll it over into an investment. I never pocket any money. I don't even have a personal account. It's all big. The benefits of the individual citizen, you get nothing. You can't write your grocery bill off. And that's something that you need to survive. And you get taxed on it. Food. For free. See, when you understand how to use it, to us as regular citizens, it looks and appears that we have to be a certain financial in order to take advantage of that. But the tax code is not written for a financial bracket. It's written for people who know how to understand and use it. But the best knowledge is the book. Because people hate to read. If somebody can't tell us the game, we ain't never gonna read it for ourselves. This is why y'all tuning in, man. I appreciate y'all for just listening and rocking with me this time. But you guys can, if you are not a follower or a subscriber of the channel, a follower is different than a subscriber. A subscriber, to my subscribers, y'all get a little bit more in-depth game to where you can sell your house to your business and then rent the house from your business and then give yourself good credit because renting is counted now on your credit. The subscribers get that kind of game. Subscribers get how you can write your Rolex watch off. Followers, you guys get the real. I mean, I do drop some information and knowledge. It's just enough to get you to go read it for yourself. Once you start reading it, it should pull you in to know more, not make you give up before you ever start. Man, that's just. But I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.